Can you believe a single word they say? The most famous Norwegian car testing business that tests electric cars every single month for their actual range has just exposed that Toyota has lied about its EV and the Subaru Solterra. Hans has sent me a message. He says he believes people are just going to go and ask for their money back for these cars when they find out the truth. When they find out what they've actually really bought is not what they thought. He said, we cancelled our Solterra electric vehicle order because of what we just found out. And in fact, we've tested the car and found out that these claims were true for us as well. Now we will be forced to look for something else. One of the most well-known media publications that tests electric cars in Norway has just uncovered what they call the greatest electric car scandal in modern history. Yeah, I know. There were electric cars 100 years ago. It's crazy. And guess who was involved in it? Subaru and Toyota. They tested the cars, and frankly, they're shocked. They've contacted Toyota to say, this is a joke. What the heck is going on? You guys are flat out lying. That's what they actually said. They said Toyota has lied about its range claims and a bunch of other things as well. And you know what? I'd like to say I'm shocked, but this is Toyota, and I'm not shocked at all. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you for subscribing as well to all the new subscribers. Great to have you guys. By the way, we do have an option on this channel to be a member. If you want to be a member, I'll put a link in the description below to the membership page. If you're a member, you do get the option to watch our videos, usually a couple of days in advance. I just got contacted by somebody who watches the channel from Norway, and they've sent me a link, well, not a link actually, they've sent me a message about this story. Now, I read his message and I thought, oh, that sounds bad. I'm surprised. Is this real? And then I thought, okay, it's bad, but not the worst thing in the world. Then I went and found the article in Norwegian, and I've translated it to English. And frankly, it's really bad because this company, they've contacted Toyota. They've said, guys, we range tested your EV 3 times because we were so shocked by the results. The results were so bad. We retested every single car in the test. We did it 3. They've never done it. They've never had to do this before ever. They've retested them 3 times, all of them, because they couldn't believe that the Toyota bZ4X was so bad. And I mean, bad is an understatement. So in Norway alone, a large number of customers are waiting to get this electric car, the bZ4X and the Subaru Solterra, which, by the way, will be available in the United States very soon. The bZ4X is available now. Now, I would hold off buying one of those if you're about to, or if you've ordered one. Just wait to hear what I'm about to share with you. You might want to change your mind on that and look at a different option. There are other options, by the way. Toyota fans, I know you love your Toyota cars and you just believe whatever they say, but please listen to this first. LBuild24 said that the bZ4X and the Solterra surprisingly underperform where it hits the hardest. For Toyota, the bZ4X underperforms in terms of consumption, range, usable battery capacity, and what we can call, honestly, achieving the promises Toyota makes about the car. In other words, they believe Toyota have flat out lied about the car's specifications and what it will actually do. Now, they've written in the article, update, Toyota Norway is aware of the content in this article and in this case, and has promised to get back to us as soon as they have taken up the content with Toyota Motor Europe. And then I'm guessing Toyota Motor Europe will say, Toyota Motor Japan, what's going on here? And then Toyota Motor Japan will say, board, what's going on here? And the board will say this area, what's going on? I don't know how this works, but it's going to take a long time. I mean, why do I say it's going to take a long time? Well, you know it's going to take a long time, don't you? Right? It took Toyota 6 months to work out how to keep the wheels from falling off the bZ4X, this car. How to keep the wheels from falling off. To be honest, after reading this, after hearing, this nonsense that's been going on where Toyota recalled the cars, tried to buy them back off people because the wheels wouldn't stay on. Now you find out about this. This car is just a bucket of junk. There's no other way to put it. There's just no other way to put it. It's a complete facepalm. It's a fail. The bZ4X is the brand's very first electric car in recent times, and the first real venture from the world's absolute largest car manufacturer. Now, the model was meant to be launched in Norway in July, but it wasn't launched there, and it was recalled in other countries where it had been sold because the wheel bolts could loosen and fall off. And it took Toyota says it has the world's best engineers working on solid-state batteries. Maybe they should take those guys away from solid-state batteries, get them to work out how to keep the wheel bolts on, because it took their engineers 5 or 6 months to work out how to get the wheel bolts to not loosen and fall off. How can this be? So the publication said, we can reveal this is the very first time we have had to run our tests multiple times, the very first time. As the initial results gave us results we could not believe were actually true. Toyota promises the bZ4X is the four-wheel drive version. In the four-wheel drive version, we'll have a range of 470 kilometers, according to the standardized WLTP test. If you buy the front-wheel drive version, you should get 516 kilometers of range. We can immediately state that you'll never ever be able to achieve this with the bZ4X. There are a number of factual conditions that underline this, and we have therefore found it necessary to carry out the test several times in order to confirm these shocking results. The range is always a factor of two characteristics, in particular consumption and the available amount of energy. And here is the weird part. Toyota has for a long time communicated that the battery capacity of the bZ4X is 71.4 kilowatt hours, but we've been informed on several occasions that this is the net usable capacity. We have also asked what the gross capacity is, but then we learned that Toyota does not want to tell us. Now, this is one of the biggest motoring publications in Europe, and Toyota doesn't want to tell them. That seems a bit fishy to me. At an event with Lexus, we were nevertheless told by engineers who were presumably not drilled on what to communicate with us that the gross battery capacity is 74 kilowatt hours. In retrospect, Toyota has denied this, saying that 71.4 kilowatt hours is gross capacity, not net. They did not want to communicate the net battery capacity, i.e. the usable part of the battery, the one you actually get to use. Toyota won't disclose the information on this to anyone, to any journalist worldwide. However, this is actually a very easy thing to test. LBill24 have done this on numerous occasions, right? They fully charge the battery in the form of AC charging, home charging, and the other by DC, and they found that the battery has a net usable capacity not of 71.4 or 74 kilowatt hours, but of only 62 kilowatt hours. Now, they tested all vehicles in this test the same way, 23 degrees Celsius, perfect weather temperature. They don't turn the air conditioning on either, so you don't have any heating on, no air conditioning on, just in the perfect temperature to just drive without needing. Their range tests that they do to all the EVs in the test are done to a fixed pattern where 25% of the route is on the motorway, 70% is on country roads, and 5% is in urban areas. Now, what they do though when they test the cars is they actually will test them twice. One of the times they'll do it when they'll set the temperature inside the car to 20 degrees, even though it's 23 degrees outside. So not much is needed to keep the car at that temperature, you can imagine, right? Now, when they set the car to 20 degrees, the range that it said on the screen fell from 407 kilometers to 297. So in other words, if you use the aircon or the heating in your bZ4X, your range will drop by 25%, even in perfect summer temperatures or perfectly mild temperatures of 23 degrees Celsius. So how far did the bZ4X and therefore the Subaru Solterra, which is the same car with different badges, actually go? Well, it did 307 kilometers before it came to a stop and came to 0%. That means the car used 1.91 kilowatt hours per mile. That energy efficiency is terrible. So instead of the 470 kilometers of WLTP range, the actual range of the car in the test was 307 kilometers. Now you might be thinking, well, maybe the other cars on test didn't get their ranges either. But the thing is, all of them were within around 5% of the claimed WLTP range. They're all pretty close. The guys who test these cars and do this driving, they are very gentle to the cars. They don't drive them aggressively. There's really no reason for the cars to substantially underperform. Now, this is what they said. The thought that we had done something wrong stuck with us. And to be sure, we carried out the test again a few days later, then with dry weather and dry perfect roads. but otherwise according to the same recipe and procedure. On the second attempt, the range increased to 318 kilometers. Now, Toyota claims consumption of the car should only be 1.58 kilowatt hours per mile, but it's getting about 1.9. Toyota has to know this, right? This is completely different to the information they've disclosed to the public. Here's what they said. We know that we have recharged the car with 62 kilowatt hours of energy after driving 318 kilometers. That means its energy consumption is 1.95 kilowatt hours per mile and 25% worse than Toyota's actual claims. They go on. It is not really the consumption that is the worst part of this test for Toyota. We can actually live with the range too, because how often do you drive more than 32 miles a day? Now, I completely disagree with them because I think that if you buy a car and they say the range is 500 kilometers, then okay, maybe if you achieve 430, that's reasonable, but not a difference of nearly 200 kilometers. We're talking about 40% less range than what they've advertised. That to me is an absolute joke. However, they said that virtually the whole challenge for them with the Toyota bZ4X lies in what Toyota refuses to tell us, which they want to keep hidden, the net usable battery capacity. Because when this is no more than 60 kilowatt hours, you will never get the range that Toyota has claimed with the bZ4X, not even on a perfect summer day driving slowly. In other words, these guys are saying that it's actually physically impossible to get the range that Toyota are claiming, no matter how you drive this car. Even if you try and hypermile it, you're not going to get the range. Now, the thing is, the charging is the same. The testers found that the fast charging hit a maximum rate of 112 kilowatt, which is less than Toyota claims as well. It appears to be a common theme, right? Promise more than the car can actually do. The journalist said this: Toyota must take into account that they are in a competitive situation. They're not alone in delivering electric cars in this segment. A number of future competitor comparisons will show that. People will talk about these results, and it will be obvious that Toyota is over-promising and under-delivering by more than anyone else in the world. Frankly, I mean, if you're Subaru, you've got to be thinking, what were we thinking getting into bed with Toyota to make an EV? That was a bad decision. Now, the reality is this test has been out for a few days now. Toyota haven't responded. Clearly, they're not interested. They're hoping it'll go away. They're hoping that Western journalists won't actually discover this test and talk about it. And you know what? Frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. They often don't. Western journalists, Western media, well, they make a fair bit of their income. A fair bit of their advertising comes from who? Comes from Toyota. If you start saying negative things about Toyota, well, they'll probably just pull their advertising from your site. So if I see this publicized on all the websites, well, I'll take it all back and I'll be wrong. But to be honest, I would be surprised if that were to happen. Toyota, once again, is up to their old tricks. And frankly, like I said, I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed. And I would recommend you don't buy this car or the Solterra. Consider something from Hyundai, Kia, Tesla, Volkswagen. They're all making better options. And most of them have cars that are actually available and do get within a reasonable figure of achieving their claimed ranges and their claimed energy consumption. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.